Welcome to another episode of Gotham Sound TV Trade Show Replacement. I'm Nick Houston, and I am here with Chris and Brian from Countryman. Say hello.
Hey.
So, Chris and Brian, where are you? Where are you calling from?
So I am calling in from my home. We're all locked down here in the Menlo Park area, so it's also the middle of my paternity leave. So I'm calling from the Duplo wasteland that is the home of my two small children and the slowly fraying sanity parents. Yeah.
Good to be trapped inside all day, every day.
Yeah.
And Brian,
I'm actually calling from the office. I'm one of the essential employees here, so I'm in the office showing off some products here because Chris does not have access to the products at home. So, yeah.
And what do you do at Countryman?
I am a design and manufacturing engineer. So I handle a lot of the product development, and then also handling a lot of production if problems arise. Making sure that everything goes smoothly.
Got it. And I do want to just acknowledge, for some reason, we've been having audio problems, and it sounds like there's Zoom audio problems. We're getting a little bit of garble from you, Brian.
Oops.
Terrible. Yeah. See. I'm sure it's Zoom and not you.
Okay. Hopefully I'm intelligible.
Yes. Yeah, you're definitely intelligible.
Okay.
All right. So, and everybody at the Countryman team, healthy, safe, all that?
Yes. It's been a bit of a wild ride, but everybody is safe and healthy, and keeping that way.
Good. And you've done reduced staff and whatnot for
separating protective gear for everybody, shift hours, that kind of thing. So it's been an adjustment, but absolutely essential.
Very cool. Well, what is it? Chris, I have a lot of sympathy for the lack of sleep that you must have with a 2-month-old and an 18-month-old.
Yeah, it's. I love them to death, but the sleep thing. If people are out there with questions, maybe they could also give me their advice because it's brutal.
There you go. Perfect. All right. So we've been pretending that we have been at a trade show and kind of treating it as if we were there, and closing our eyes and pretending to be amid thousands of people. So why don't we just start it off as if we're there? What would you be showing us?
Yeah. Well, Brian's got a couple of things.
Okay, so I'll start off with probably our most recent product here, which is the Phantom Power Supply. So we came up with a ultra low noise, ultra rugged Phantom Power Supply to replace a legacy product called the DPM. And so this guy, I'll take this out of the package for you here. A nice small package. It's pretty basic what it does. It supplies, a 48, 24 or 12 volts power to any phantom powered devices or microphones. It is the lowest noise phantom power supply that we are aware of at negative 120 dBV. I think the closest competitor is somewhere around negative 118. Not a massive difference, but if you're going for the lowest noise, it's the lowest noise. It's wonderful if you have a mixing board where you have a little bit, dirty phantom power where it's too noisy, or if you have some devices such as ribbon microphones that can't be run on phantom power, but you need some devices to be run on phantom power, and you have only a global option for phantom on the board, then gives you the ability to selectively put the phantom power where you need it. Or if you're in a remote location and you just need that power for a condenser microphone and you don't have that on your camcorder or whatever. It's also incredibly durable. I tested it out myself. I ran it over with my car, and it is fine. So in typical Countryman fashion, it's indestructible. So that's our newest product there that I believe we launched at NAMM a few months ago.
And what kind of car are we talking about here? Is it like a Prius or how
this
heavy?
This is a 90s SUV, so quite a hefty car. So it can definitely handle a beating. We threw it at walls and made sure that batteries don't come loose and all that. So it's a very rugged and secure device.
And the batteries is a good point to mention too, actually.
Oh, right. Yeah, thank you for reminding me about that, Chris. It also has 3 power options, so you can run it off of either 1 or 2 9-volt batteries. So if you just have one 9-volt battery and that's all you got, you can run it off of there. If you want to extend the battery life, run it with 2, or you can run it off of a 9-volt DC power supply right there. So lots of power options for whatever you need in terms of longevity.
And is it the external power supply? Is it 9-volt only, or is there a range that it goes through?
We recommend the 9-volt, I believe it's 400 milliamp negative tip DC power supply. It's we chose that because it's a pretty standard voltage. And it worked pretty well for what we were designing with. So that I believe it is just 9 volts. I'd have to double check with my electrical engineer to be sure on that, though.
Got it. And what's the battery life on, let's say, a single 9-volt?
I believe it's somewhere around 10 hours. Last we checked, yeah. It's a little tough to measure because it depends on the microphone you're using and how much it's drawing, or if it's a different phantom power device and it's drawing more. Typically, we found with one of our microphones, it lasts for about 10 hours on a single battery.
Got it. Very cool. And you announced that at NAMM. So what's the availability of this?
So we should be seeing shipping this quarter, so quarter 2. So within a month or 2, we'll be shipping out units. They are available for pre-order on our website.
Very cool. And through our website as well.
Yes, of course.
Very
Through all our
good.
dealers.
All the dealers, absolutely.
Yes.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah, and we also have a few other products. These have been out for a year or 2, but they are kind of some of our more recent products that are more microphone-based for those of you who are familiar with our microphones, which are our most popular products.
Great. Before we get into that, I just want to mention that if there's any, we're live on social media, so if anybody has any questions or comments, or feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will relay them into this meeting. All right. So anyway, continue.
Yeah. So we've got also our H7. So that's actually what I'm wearing right now. And the H7 is our newest headset. It is a side address hypercardioid polar pattern. So I don't know if you can see that there, but it's firing in towards the mouth. So that's going to give you maximum isolation in very noisy environments. This microphone is also very rugged. We've done a lot for our windscreens. We nano coat them so that way it sheds water very easily. You don't get any sort of sweat and dust to kill your microphone. We have a very, very rugged connector for the microphone in the back here, which unfortunately I don't think I have an extra cable to show, but it is it's waterproof to 5 atmospheres, so you won't get sweat outs or anything like that. Very high dynamic range as well, crystal clear audio, obviously. 107 dB dynamic range, I believe, and it's I hopefully you can hear. Hopefully Zoom isn't destroying the audio quality, but it sounds very nice and clear for any sort of live applications, which is not really what people are looking for right now, but also for home audio applications where you're doing teleconferencing or something. I actually use one at home for playing games and stuff with my friends, and it's so good at isolation that you can really be sitting right in front of the speakers and not have any weird feedback issues and not have to wear a headset. It's very nice.
Very cool. And I think the Zoom audio just kind of fixed itself.
Oh, perfect.
There we go. Great. All right, and so that's the H7. Yeah, we have gotten a lot of orders for that with houses of worship and Broadway type shows and things like that, where people need that isolation. Yes,
it's wonderful. It's amazing. I am relatively new to the pro audio world, so I'm learning things as I go. But it amazed me how well it isolates. Especially like you can literally stand in front of a speaker that is outputting exactly what you're saying, and it does not get feedback. It's very impressive. I believe Chris actually has heard some stories from users that they'll have someone addressing an audience and they'll be walking around in the audience in front of the line arrays and just no issues whatsoever. It's a very impressive microphone.
Cool. I'm gonna recommend, because the chopping in and out is a little bit distracting. I'm gonna recommend you just hop out of Zoom real quick and hop back in, and Chris can tell us some entertaining stories.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Surprise, Chris.
That's and entertaining stories. Let's see.
They can be Countryman based or not, and just entertain us in some way, shape, or form.
Let's see. Right now, I'm hearing in the background that you probably can't hear. My daughter is singing to herself the Music Together collection. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but if you've had kids before, there's a lovely participatory music class type thing that they send them to. And it has taken over my entire life. So now she will sing requests, demands, any type of communication with us happens only in musical form. So that is a new experience for me, and I find myself slipping into it. So when I'm talking with the engineers on the engineering calls, sometimes I will sing the things I'd like to say, and it's been a transformative experience. I think it's going to kind of create a more Broadway show type environment within the office. That's what's happening here in my Duplo cave.
That was amazing, and I think that everything should be like that. Okay, everybody should get headsets and communicate that way. Brian's back. Brian, let's just check your audio.
Yeah, am I sounding all right? I tried switching networks to see if that might help.
It's so choppy. Well, we'll just keep going.
I'm sorry about that.
You can tell the clarity is there. It's just got, I don't know. It sounds like there's a tick in the line, which is weird because it wasn't there when we tested it. So what else do you have after the H7?
Okay. So another one we've got here is, and some people may be familiar with this already, but our B6 Detachable Lavalier. Mm-hmm. So our B6 has been around for a while. I believe it's the world's smallest lavalier at 2 millimeters about in diameter. And we came out with a version of it not too long ago that has the ability to switch out which connector you would like. So you can choose from the broad range of connectors, connector codes that we have to adapt to any transmitter out there. And it's nice because if you buy a bunch of these detachable lavaliers, you end up switching out all your body packs, or you want to plug directly into a board, you can just get the connector, not have to get an entirely
new lav was what he was about to say. Yeah. Chris, you're up again. So
I'm back. Yeah,
you're back.
I'm going to tell you about the fantastic internet connection that we have at the office. That's that'll be the subject of my next story, and probably several stories on the phone too. But let's see, what do we got going on right now? If we could plan even like 1 millimeter off to the side, you would see piles of the toilet paper that I ordered and will be using, that I got from an industrial supplier of national park style toilet paper. So I have
really high quality
kind of premier 5-star abandoned national park type action. And my wife likes oatmeal a lot, and so we're going to be eating oatmeal for a while too, because she has a 50-pound sack of oatmeal.
Nice.
That we'll be eating.
Well, tell me something Countryman related. So, is there something there where you see the market going, and there's some like, I guess, yeah. What do you see as is going to be coming out for Countryman? Is there anything new that you see on the horizon? And how do you view your products in this this age where we're going to be really concerned with sanitization and things like that?
Well, it's excellent. I can't give you too many details right now, but our microphones are normally known for being extremely rugged. So they're used on a lot of reality television shows and in kind of harsh environments, TV sets, that sort of thing. Recently, we have come with a couple of innovations that we'll be rolling out into the line, which push that ruggedness a lot further. So look for more sanitizable product, stuff that could be washed in UV light, non-degrading, stuff with longer flux life, higher break strength, better water ingress protection, so that you might not need to worry about sweat outs as much. So we're talking about beyond just IP67, but into the kind of dive watch type categories. So 1, 3, 5 atmospheres of water ingress protection. So the kinds of things that you can use for active water sports, but also that you could agitate in water if you needed to clean them. Brian mentioned the nano coatings. We have new solutions around repelling water, and also those are capable of allowing the microphone to be cleaned and sanitized in a more kind of efficient fashion. So Brian can talk a little bit about some of the stuff that went into the H7. There's a fantastic detachable connector, but we see a lot of future in making sure that your microphones can last a long time, because I think the environment that we're going into is one where budgets may be tight, and one where people are going to have to be really concerned about longevity and safety of products. So that's you'll be seeing those sorts of things coming out from us in the next few months.
Great. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about the idea that talent will maybe miking and demiking themselves, and that you just kind of put your transmitter there with the mic and walk them through it from a few feet away, or maybe a handler does it.
Yeah, we had a story from Big Brother Canada, and that television show. The participants are miking themselves, right? They're not supposed to be having any interaction with the crew at all, right? They're supposed to be in isolation, and they're also intoxicated most of the day. So you can imagine it's kind of the roughest possible environment for audio equipment, and that's kind of the standard that I think of when we're doing design, is like, how can we make it so that the talent, willfully or not, trained or not, can get a great experience with the microphone, and then expect it to last a long time and get good value.
Yeah, and not having it break.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that is what talent loves to do, is break things when they rip them off.
Yes. I mean, I like to think of, those reality type TV show situations, but also, churches, big market for us, a lot of lay people, folks who are trained volunteers or not so trained volunteers, because, you just have to make do with what you have, and they don't always have the resources to train. And it's up to us as the product designers to make sure that the product can survive, mishandling, well-intended mistakes. And that has not historically been the case with a lot of microphones. And so I think that as an industry, that's the direction that we're moving. We're trying to ruggedize stuff.
Yeah. All right. So we did get Brian back. Brian, let's see how we're doing.
Hopefully my audio is better. If not, I guess we can just have Chris talk for the rest of the video. Unfortunately, I'm sorry that we're having these issues.
No, I mean, it's okay. We can still hear you, and I guess you cut out before, so that so you dropped. But anyway, so you were talking a little bit about the detachable connectors and just kind of the flexibility there. Was there anything else that you wanted to add to that?
It's pretty much the same B6, just with detachable connectors. So I could go through the whole pitch of the B6, but it's a very popular product. I think a lot of people already know about it. It's the same exact B6, just with that flexibility. It's like having, with the E6, we have the detachable cables, right? So it gives that same flexibility to the lavalier version, right?
Mm-hmm. And one thing that Chris was talking about was, sanitizing the microphones, and that you might be able to illuminate us as to how you would do that presently with your product line.
Well, the biggest thing is being able to take the windscreen off of the microphone, and you can sanitize that apart from the microphone. So that way you're not putting any harsh chemicals, any sort of solvents directly onto the microphone. When it comes to cleaning the microphone element itself, a lot of times distilled water can be good for getting any sort of gunk out of there. It's tough when it comes to sanitizing it, like with a proper antivirus, or I guess disinfectant, because there's a lot of those harsh chemicals that will damage electronics. Mm-hmm. But that's why we recommend using the windscreen, so that way you don't have to clean the direct electrical components with some sort of harsh chemical. And then when it comes to the rest of the microphone, really cable, anything like that, you can wipe it down with isopropyl alcohol. I believe most medical experts are recommending 70% solution is most effective at disinfecting, as it kind of leaves it helps break down those virus cells a little bit easier. So that's what I would recommend is using a protective cap. If it's one that has their cap system, if it's the H7, which it doesn't have the cap system, you use the windscreen. So that way you can take the windscreen off and either completely dispose of it or wash it in some sort of disinfectant and then reuse it.
Yeah, and I'll say just another thing about that windscreen. That nano coating is really remarkable. You can take that windscreen it will survive an IP67 test even one of our microphones that isn't waterproofed because the nano coating is so effective at repelling water. The microphone windscreen comes out and it looks completely dry. So that helps a lot because there's nothing that's sticking to the microphone itself. But we've done UV sterilization tests to some limited degree. So those are options too.
And cleaning the windscreen, I mean, is that just soap and water, or are you spraying that down with isopropyl alcohol, or what's the deal?
Either would work. We've done both, and then also heating it. You can heat it to probably 150 degrees Fahrenheit for a period of time, and you shouldn't break down the microphone windscreen material.
So a lot of different options there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. And let's see, is there anything else that you guys would like to talk about?
I think that runs through the stuff that we have kind of on the front burner right now.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, fantastic.
I would say stay tuned. We have some really cool products coming out in the near future that will emphasize, that high price performance ratio. That where you're getting such, very very good quality product for a price you wouldn't expect, right? So it's we're really kind of aiming towards getting that high quality sounds out there to people in a very cost effective package.
All right. Fantastic. Well, you'll have to keep us posted.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we will.
All right. So I'll just keep you chatting for one more minute here, just in case there are any questions about anything we've talked about. So far, we've talked about the phantom power supply that you have, the high quality, low noise, super low noise, portable phantom power supply. We've talked about the H7. Did I get the right number? Yeah, H7.
Yes.
And then the detachable connectors for the B6. So you guys have any questions for Countryman, feel free to leave them in the comments. And my question is, what's for dinner?
I've got, I think, some Mediterranean stuff. We were able to cook up some falafel and things like that. I know what you're doing, Brian.
Ooh, that sounds good. I'm going to have canned soup.
All right. Well, very good. Well, I hope you guys enjoy your dinner and that everybody and care about stays healthy and safe. And certainly we're thinking about everybody out there in California and everywhere else. And we look forward to getting together with you when the time is right.
Great. Thanks so much, Peter.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll wrap this up. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to watch this video and others, you can go to our archives at gothamsound.tv. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter for the latest sound news, and you can send any ideas or questions to info@gothamsound.com. Take care and stay safe.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.